Hi friends, in the last videos we covered very clearly the basic introduction to exceptions, right? What is exception? What is the meaning of exception handling? How to handle exceptions, right? Now the next topic what I have to discuss, default exception handling in Python. Sir, observe, default exception handling in Python. Sir, if you are not handling an exception, if an exception got raised, by default what will happen? That part we have to aware. Sir, best example, let me go for a small example so that you will get much clarity, sir. Sir, here I am taking print of hello, like this I am taking print of hello. Next print of 10 by 0 I am taking. Next print of hi, like this I am taking this code, sir. Assume that. Sir, have you observed, if I execute this code, immediately error we are going to get because of 10 by 0. Yes, you know that because of 10 by 0 an error will occur, sir. Sir, now the important point. So whenever an exception got raised, by default what will happen? Sir, in this example, so which exception will be raised? Okay, 0 division error will be raised. Correct, right? 0 division error exception got raised. Every exception in Python is a class. Remember this one, sir. Every exception in Python is a class. That's why 0 division error is a class, sir. 0 division error is a class. Whenever an exception raised, immediately Python virtual machine will create an object for the corresponding class. Okay, now observe this one. 0 division error exception class object will be created by Python virtual machine. Remember, so in our Python code, anywhere if an exception raised, first step, sir, so Python virtual machine will create an object for the corresponding exception class. So it is a 0 division error class object. 0 division error is our exception class. Okay, like an object got created. Next, immediately Python virtual machine will check, is there any handling code is available or not? Okay, any handling code, is it available or not? If handling code is available, then handling code will be executed and the rest of the program will be continued normally. Remember this one, sir. So after creating this exception object, immediately Python virtual machine will check, is there any handling code or not? If handling code is available, so Python virtual machine will execute that handling code and the rest of the code will be continued normally. Okay, but I'm not having any handling code. If you are not having any handling code, immediately the program will be terminated. Yes, there only at the second line only the program will be terminated and the printed exception information to the console. Remember this one, sir. The program will be terminated there and the printed exception information to the console, and the rest of the program won't be executed. Remember this one, sir. Sir, this is abnormal termination. Are you getting? This one is what? Abnormal termination. Okay, so if an exception got raised, Python virtual machine will create an object related to exception class and check for handling code. If handling code is available, it will handling code will be executed and the rest of the code will be continued normally. Okay, if handling code is not available, the program will be terminated there only. Rest of the code is not going to execute. Print exception information to the console, the program will be terminated abnormally. What is this termination, sir? Is it normal termination or abnormal termination? Abnormal termination. Is it graceful termination or non-graceful termination? Non-graceful termination. Suppose here you open one database connection. Assume that you open one database connection. While reading data, the problem came. So now this is the closing database connection. So no one is going to close by DB correction, obviously. So it's a bigger problem. That's why abnormal termination, non-graceful termination, we don't want. Okay, to prevent this abnormal termination, we require to go for what? Exception handling by using try and except blocks. Sir, how you can use that part I will take care, don't worry, sir. Up to this is the clear for all of you, right? Have a look once, sir. Sir, now default exception handling in Python, just observe carefully, sir. Let me execute this code. Here if I can take print of hello I'm taking, print of hello I'm taking, print of 10 by 0 I'm taking, and print hi I'm taking, sir. That's all. Print of hello, print of 10 by 0, print of hi, like this I'm taking, sir. Now let me execute this code. Here observe. So the first line will be executed properly. So second line there is a problem is coming. Immediately Python virtual machine will create exception object. Now it will check for handling code. Handling code is not available. The program will be terminated at second line and printed exception information to the console. Rest of the code is not going to be executed. Remember this one, sir. Sir, observe carefully. If I execute this code, what is the answer, sir? Hello printed and the exception information will be printed to the console. Rest of the code is not executed. Sir, you want to see hi in the console. Have you observed, right? You want to see hi in the console because rest of the code is not executed, sir. Sir, now my question is, who is the responsible to print this information? Okay, Python virtual machine, Python interpreter is the responsible to print this information. Is it normal termination or abnormal termination? It is abnormal termination. Never recommended. Is it clear for all of you, right? So this is default exception handling in Python. By default, what will happen? Nothing. Program will be terminated abnormally. Print exception information to the console. Clear, right? Just have a look once about this theory, sir. Whatever we have. Okay, sir, here just observe that default exception handling in Python. Sir, observe, every exception in Python is an object. For every exception type, the corresponding class is available. Clear? Next, whenever an exception occurs, PVM will create the corresponding exception object and will check for handling code. If handling code is available, then it will be executed and the rest of the program will be executed normally. Okay. If handling code is not available, then PVM will terminate program abnormally and print corresponding exception information to the console. Rest of the program won't be executed. Observe, it is a normal termination, it is abnormal termination because handling code is not available. Okay, to prevent this abnormal termination, we should handle exceptions explicitly, of course, by using what? Try except blocks. So, is it clear for all of you, right? What is the default exception handling in Python? Any doubt? Hi friends, in the last video we covered about default exception handling in Python. Sir, now the next thing what I have to discuss, Python's exception hierarchy. Just a basic idea. Sir, what are various exception classes? At least a few. What is the relation between these? Which is the parent class? Which is the child class? Like you people should have clarity, sir. Sir, I told already, all exceptions in Python, every exception in Python is an object, corresponding class is available. Means exception classes are there, sir. So all exception classes in Python are child classes of base exception. Remember this one. All are child classes of base exception. Every exception, if you consider, sir, it should be child class of base exception. That's why this base exception class is considered root class for Python exception hierarchy. Remember this one, sir. Okay, like sir, for this there are multiple child classes are there, friends. One child class is exception. Okay, one child class is exception. Remember, it is the child class of base exception. Okay, one child class is the exception. Similar to exception, okay, system exit, it is another child class. Next, do you know generator exit, it is another child class. Next, keyboard interrupt, it is another child class. While executing the program, whenever you are going to press control C, immediately keyboard interrupt. Okay, like these are various child classes of base exception. Are you in the position to understand, right? So base exception is the parent for all exception classes in Python. For that exception, system exit, generator exit, keyboard interrupt, like these are the child classes, right? So next, for this exception, multiple child classes are possible, man. Okay, so one is arithmetic error. Are you getting? One is arithmetic error like this, right? So for this arithmetic error, do you know, sir, child class zero division error. Zero division error is the child class. But we saw several times zero division error is the child class of arithmetic error, which is the child class of exception, which is the child class of base exception. Complete hierarchy, at least up to certain common user exceptions, basic hierarchy you people should aware, sir. Similarly, overflow error. Okay, overflow error. Next, floating point error. Okay, floating point error. Okay, like floating point error, like okay. Now these are various child classes for arithmetic error. Is it clear, right? Sir, similar to arithmetic error, there is one more child class is there. Okay, lookup error. One more child class is there, lookup error, sir. For this lookup error, okay, there are some child classes are there. Index error. Have you remembered, right? Whenever you are trying to access string out of range index error we are going to get. List elements out of range index error. Next, key error. Okay, best example, in our dictionary, if we are trying to access a data by specifying the key, if that key is not available, then key error we are going to get, sir. Okay, like this is. So similar to, so have you observed index error, key error, these two things are child class of lookup error, right? Similar to this, okay. Now the next thing what we have, okay, OS error. Are you getting OS error, like OS error? For the OS error, child classes are, sir, file not found error, we covered already in the last session. File not found error is the child of OS error. OS error is the child of exception. Exception is the child of base exception, like sir, file not found error, interrupted error. Next, time out error. Next, permission error, like so. These are various child classes of OS error, right? Okay. Next, similar to this, do you know? Next, attribute error. Okay. Next, EOF error, end of file error. Next, name error. Next, type error. Okay. Value error. Okay, like multiple child classes are there. Are you in the position to understand, friend? Base exception, arithmetic error, zero division error, overflow error, floating point error. Similarly, lookup error, child classes, index error, key error, right? Next, OS error, file not found error, interrupted error, timeout error, permission error. Sir, similar to this, so attribute error, EOF error, name error, type error, value error, like so these are the things what you people should aware, sir. Just a partial hierarchy. But now I have one small doubt, sir. Arithmetic error is the child class of, respond. Arithmetic error is the child class of exception, which is the child class of base exception, right? Sir, zero division error is the child of arithmetic error. Okay. Next, index error is the child of lookup error. Lookup error is the child of exception. File not found error is the child of OS error. OS error is the child of exception. Okay, like so most of the times, being a programmer, our concentration is always exception and its child classes only. In the exception handling, most of the times we are always going to talk about either exception and its child classes. Remember, these are very important, sir. Just for basic idea purpose I'm providing this. Are you in the position to understand, right? Okay, just have a look once about this one, sir. So now if you observe these conclusions, every exception in Python is a class. All exception classes are child classes of base exception, either directly or indirectly. Hence, a base exception acts as root for Python exception hierarchy. Remember, right? Next, being a programmer, most of the times we have to concentrate or handle exception and its child classes. So any explanation is required about this one, just a basic idea. Better to draw this diagram on the paper. Just try to have just least basic commonly required exception hierarchy you should aware. Clear, right? So even in the next videos also I'm going to touch this point. So which is the parent of zero division error? Immediately you have to tell arithmetic error is the parent. Sir, which is the parent of arithmetic error? Immediately you have to tell exception, sir. Which is the parent of exception? Base exception. This parent and child relationships we are going to use somewhere in the next videos to discuss some important conclusions. Remember, sir, same way index error is the child of respond. Index error is the child of lookup error. Index error is the child of lookup error. Lookup error is the child of exception. File not found error is the child of OS error. OS error is the child of exception. Like a basic idea about these things compulsory you people should have. Any doubt about this one? Clear, right?